Hi, this is Adrian Lee from adrianvideoimage.com. With me right now is Tom Abbott, the author of the SOHO Solution 21 Selling Strategies for Growing Your Small Business. Hi Tom, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your book?
I started SOHO sales coaching about 12 years ago in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, to help small office and home office entrepreneurs, small and medium-sized enterprises, and multinational corporations increase sales in their businesses. Now, we've been in Southeast Asia for the last 2 years, and we do sales training and sales coaching throughout Southeast Asia. And I wrote this book, The SOHO Solution, 21 Selling Strategies for Growing Your Business, specifically for the SOHO entrepreneur. So for the small office and home office entrepreneur that's really struggling with attracting their ideal target customer, differentiating themselves from the competition, and converting more leads into sales. So as a SOHO entrepreneur myself, I understand the challenges that they face, and I wrote this book just for them.
Can you share some tips on how to identify the ideal customer?
When I attend networking events, and I attend a lot, when I'm asking people, so what's a good referral for you? Or who is your ideal target customer? Most people look at me with a blank look on their face and say, everybody. And the reality is, not everybody is your ideal target customer. In fact, only a very small group of people would be your ideal target customer. So what I encourage my clients to do, and some of the tips that you'll find in the book, are figuring out who has an urgent, pressing need for the service that you offer. So who's really actively looking for what you do? Number two, who actually has the ability to afford your products or services? That way you're not wasting your time chasing on unlikely prospects. And number three, who has the authority to make the buying decision? So make sure that these are people that actually can make a decision to say yes to your product. So the first tip that I have is be very clear about who has an urgent, pressing need for your product or service. Number two, who has the ability to afford your product or service? And number three, who has the authority to actually make the buying decision?
So how do you differentiate yourself from the competition?
Something that I've also experienced at networking events is meeting the same type of person from the same type of industry. And I like to ask them, so what makes you different from that other realtor that I saw? What makes you different from that other insurance person that I saw? What makes you different from that other graphic designer or accountant or lawyer or bookkeeper that I saw? And usually, again, another blank look on their face, and they say, we give good service at a good price. And I say to myself, well, that's the same thing that everybody else says, so they're not really different, are they? So what I encourage my clients to do, and some of the tips that I'm also sharing in the book, is that you need to be very clear about what sets you apart from the competition. Now, one way that you can do that is by actually studying the competition and finding out what they do and how they do it and how much they charge for it. It's not until you know what everyone else is doing that you can really position yourself and find out how you're different. So what I suggest that you do is actually visit the websites of 3 to 5 of your biggest competitors and study everything. What do they do? How do they do it? What are the terms and conditions? What's their product offering? What's their pricing strategy? What's their client base? What's their target market? Learn everything you can about the competition, and that's going to help you identify how you're better and different from your competitors.
So now that I've identified the ideal target customer and differentiate myself from the competition, how do we convert more leads into sales?
The key to converting more leads into sales is actually really simple, and it comes down to one word: persistence. I was just delivering a talk at the National Sales and Marketing Congress in Singapore, and I shared this statistic that I had read from a study done by the Canadian Professional Sales Association that reported that about 80% of all salespeople give up after asking for the sale once. But that same study showed that 80% of all sales transacted actually occur after the sales professional asked for the sale 4 times. So if you really want to know the quickest and easiest way to increase sales, it's to simply ask 4 times. So the lesson there is about being persistent and asking for the sale. During that talk at the National Sales and Marketing Congress, I also shared something else about the distinction between satisfied and ecstatic. And quite often when you call upon a prospect and you say, hey, would you like to try us out, give us a chance? They say, well, we're actually satisfied with our current supplier, but thanks for calling. So most salespeople go, okay, don't worry about it. If things change in the future, please call on us. And they think that they've done a good job as a salesperson. But what I encourage my clients to do, and some of the tips that I'll be sharing in the book, are when you call upon a prospect and they say that they're satisfied with their current supplier, what I encourage you to do is to ask them this question. Say, it's great that you're satisfied, but I'm wondering if you'd like to be ecstatic, thrilled, amazed by that service. Now they'll probably say, well, of course I would. How can you do that? Right? So your job as a sales professional, as a small business owner promoting your business, is to bridge the gap between satisfied and ecstatic, to bridge the gap between your clients where they are right now and where they'd like to be. So that's your job. So if you can demonstrate to them how you can bridge that gap and how you can take them from satisfied to ecstatic, you'll close more sales, guaranteed.
Thanks, Tom. So you're a sales coach. Can you share your sales pitch? Why small business owners must get a copy of your book, and how do they get it?
I wrote the SOHO solution, 21 Selling Strategies for Growing Your Small Business, because most small business owners are very good at what they do, and yet they struggle with attracting and identifying their ideal target customer. They struggle with differentiating themselves in a very crowded, competitive marketplace, and they struggle with converting more leads into sales. So I wrote this book to help them overcome those challenges. The book will be released in Singapore and around the world in March 2011, and you can pre-order an autographed advance copy of the book at thesohosolutionbook.com. I hope you pick it up. It'll really help your business in 2011. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. So pre-order Tom Abbott's book today at thesohosolutionbook.com.